Okay, so for our game, we made a space shooter where we implemented the Raspberry Pi as a controller. If you look down, you can see how you can move left, right, and then middle button is fire. The objective of the game is to go for as long as you can. If you look in the top left, there's a score counter for how many enemies you've killed, and then there's a health counter where one hit equals 1 point of health lost. I'll show you how it works. You get hit, there goes 1. I'll get hit again. 2, 3, 2.
4 hits and you're out, basically.
Yep, I just took 2 at once, so that I died there.
The Raspberry Pi is very laggy.
That's why
it was kind of stuttering.
And if you look here, you can see our code and our functions that we use to implement the buttons. So this function right here is for movement, and it takes inputs from movement and implements them into this code. If you can see, it'll take key state and it'll call from the list, and depending on what button you press, it'll go left or right. And if you saw above, there was also our fire function, which takes inputs from the middle button and plays it here. So if the middle button is pressed, it will use the player fire function to fire. And if you would like to explain our health counter and score counter.
So basically, we have some initializing code at the start to basically set up the the game stage, game area, and we have a bunch of definitions defining the background. This is the first sort of class, first sort of definition for a sprite. This is the player, and there's the player up here. And then we have, this is the life, the heart, and this is the player, and this is the mob, and then this is the bullet, the projectiles, and then we also have some unused code, and the score counter can be seen on the bottom, where it basically uses this code to basically display the amount of enemies that you kill, and it's very simple.
Hey Nick.
And this code right here. So every time the player kills a mob, this code gets updated and the score goes up by 1.
And that's our game.